technical difficulties on this episode. And this is going to be like my fourth time trying to do this monologue. Third time, fourth time? It's too many times. You know what's great to do on TV? Put on a mask and try and emote through it. And then, like, as shit fucks up with the cameras and we realize shit fucks up, put the mask back on and do the same yelling again. Fuck! Welcome to the show. This is Boulder County Tonight. Thank you very much. Tonight it's just Jackson and I in the room. Hero that he is. We already shot the interview with our guest, but now we're going to try this monologue again. You ready? I'm ready. Big deep breath. I'm not going to curse as much this time because I'm going to try and not put a curse on us, okay? First thing, as always, Grandma, God damn it, if you're still with us, wake the fuck up, Grandma! It's time to go to bed! God damn it, it's time to go to bed, Grandma! We're going to get through this monologue again. Grandma, if you're still up, I swear to God, it's too late for you. Don't forget to take your pill, put on your little mask. Nighty-night, Grandma. Okay. What else? Disclaimer, of course. Anything I fucking say or my guest may say in the interview or the show or whatever does not reflect on our noble, beautiful sponsors or anybody here at Longmont Public Television. I was in the grocery store the other day. I want to like take us to a happy place. Because I know my sense of humor can be a little dark and maybe a little caustic at times. All right? Yes, it's true. But sometimes I have benign thoughts. Here's one. Once upon a time, I was at the grocery store. So high. And I was shopping, as you do. What do you do at the grocery store? Me, I go shopping. Lo and behold, I was hanging out, shopping, having fun, living my best life. And I was buying shampoo. And I noticed, of course, there's shampoo and there's conditioner, right? But then also, there's shampoo conditioner, right? It's everything you love about shampoo. It's all the good things about conditioner. It's shampoo conditioner, okay? It's wonderful technology. I'm looking up and down that aisle, and it occurred to me, man. They can mix the shampoo and the conditioner. What is it that the shampoo people know that the laundry people don't know? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you kind of pick up what I'm saying? Because it's like shampoo, conditioner, no problem, works great. Laundry detergent, fabric softener, no? No? Nothing? Zero? Seems like, I don't know, wrong somehow? Like, why is this like a trade secret? Can we fucking please share the technology of how to mix petroleum products or whatever the fuck? It's just something I noticed. Whatever. Chew on that in your own prayer time. Looks like we maybe got a little note from the producers here. Thank you very much. Okay. Was that my phone? That was Jackson giving us a little demonstration of his amazing skill set. In episode 5 of this show, when we did our monkey movie, at the end, where there's the monkey film, that's Jackson Cloud and I working together to make a movie, as we do. And at the very end, it's a very sad piece, of course. It's about our friend Jack going home being depressed at the end of a hard day. And he gets a phone call at the end of the scene. And the ringtone, because Jack's a monkey, right? And his ringtone is just Jackson going, it's so stupid. I love it. I think it's great art. A note from the producers. A little correction, looks like, from last episode. In the last episode, we used terms like you and me and I. This was actually a mistake, because in reality, what we would call you and I are actually just mysterious crystallizations of the same, larger, universal level consciousness. Therefore, on some deeper scale, we are the same, made of all the same pieces, sourced from all the same places. On some deeper level, they can't tell us from each other. Oh, how that frustrates and illuminates me. While we do sincerely apologize for the error, we will continue using those terms because that's how our language works. And also, even though it is a kind of perceptual linguistic trap, it's what we have to work with. So we're going to still use words like you and I and me. But what I mean is you and you and you. Okay? Don't get confused. A little note from the producers. Thank you very much for them. They've made that note a few times tonight. I don't know if you know, but we've done this monologue a few times. Here's a note from World News. Oh my God. Little news bulletin for you. Remember that time we had that war in Afghanistan? Do you guys remember? There's news, actually, related to that. Last week, a private jet of American politicians tried to land in Afghanistan. They said they were coming to help. But nobody knew what the fuck they were going to do to help. And so the people on the ground didn't allow them to land. The people on the ground in Afghanistan were like, oh my God, there's fires everywhere and like, whatever, riots and stuff. Oh, the American politicians are coming to help. No, we're fine. We're going to be fine. We actually don't want that kind of help. You know what I mean? American politician help, not actually very good help, as it turns out. Turned away by Afghanistan. The bad news, actually, is those politicians turned that plane right back around to come back to us to help us. There are people that turned away by Afghanistan. These are our people, our politicians that are supposed to help us. Fuck. I'm going to make one more note, and this is kind of like a strange kind of linguistic note here this time. I know, it sounds thrilling. It's as if you've been watching the TV, you may have heard the opinion that we're living in the end times. Oh, the end times. Oh, smell the bouquet of the death of humanity. I thought it might be nice, fun maybe, to sort of have some like end times fun ideas. So here's a little thing that I noticed this week in my personal study that I thought would be sort of fun and interesting related to the end times. I grew up religious. I don't know if any of you did, because of course, me not being religious now, I don't believe that I'm a psychic and would understand if you grew up religious. I don't know. I did. I grew up Christian, and I was supposed to grow up to be a Christian minister. Oh. that didn't turn out. But when I was studying the Bible, I had read the book of Revelation, of course. It's by the Apostle John. And he's sort of writing, it's a mystical text. It's a very coded text. It was, I think most scholars agree that there's the number 666, right? That's from this text. And it's like the number of the Antichrist. This is me doing the quotes. Can you tell? It's like the number of the Antichrist, okay? And most biblical scholars would agree that 666, because in Hebrew, a lot of their language is intertwined with numerology, okay? So there are a lot of numbers in their words, and these ideas are very mixed for that culture. Okay. 666 is largely understood to be code to talk about Nero, the Caesar, okay? So when you see 666, that's actually based on the Latin translation that adds up to Nero Caesar, okay? Now, If you were to translate it from Greek, which is a really good chance it was written in Greek in the original language, because a lot of the New Testament, I'm sure you're aware, is written in Greek and Latin. So if the original text that they found, and all they have is like scraps of paper that they compare through the centuries, whatever. The earliest translations that they can find are actually Greek, and it's different because the numerology that would equal up to mean Nero doesn't in Greek. It says Neron Caesar. Okay, and the math adds up differently, so it means 616 versus 666. So if you read any scholarship on the topic, you may see it say, and the number of the Antichrist is 666 or 616. Okay? I know it's a long road. We're getting somewhere. 616 is the possible number of the Antichrist if you're a Christian. And definitely not if you're not. Okay? But 616. What else is famously 616? I am a scholar of many things. And one of the things that I'm a scholar in, of course, is Marvel Comics. Now, thank you very much. In Marvel Comics, the main Marvel universe. Now, you know they have, if you've been watching like recent Marvel stuff on TV and whatnot, you'll know they have many multiverses, okay? That's right. And they number a lot of these multiverses, okay? Did you know what number Earth, the main Earth in Marvel Comics? It's Earth 616. Holy shit! I know. It's very strange. Like Cyclops or whatever lives on Earth 616. Captain America's from Earth 616. 616. It's very strange to be the number of the Antichrist. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that Greek translation shit. That's not new. People have known that for a long, long time. So it does seem a little strange. And also, to be connected with the fucking Antichrist, it does seem, I don't know, right somehow that the Avengers, what are they most known for? They overthrow gods. Thanos, with his Infinity Gauntlet, he has like all the powers of a god, you know? And they beat his ass, right? That's what the Avengers do. They beat gods. They overthrow gods. 616. And they're about to like go up against another god in the next franchise. It's like a time god, okay? Ah, spoilers! Not really, not really. Well, whatever. Fucking put your pants on. Just a little note. I don't know. I'm not trying to rile up the Christians against Marvel Comics or whatever, but it is sort of interesting, and the numbers are there, and it's sort of mysterious. Why would they choose? Because the idea there are infinite universes in those comics. Why would they choose 616? I don't know. Maybe they worship Satan. I don't know. Who doesn't? You know who definitely doesn't worship Satan, as far as we're aware? Abbott and Wallace Distilling. That's right. It's our sponsor. This is one of their Amaro spritzes. Spritz-eye. It's a multiple of spritz. The Amaro Spritz, of course, or the Caribbean Queen, or the Gina Tonic. They have canned cocktails. Like I just murdered, but when I fucked up the last one that we tried to do this monologue. God damn it! No, everything's fine. Abbott and Wallace Distilling, AbbottandWallace.com. They're a whiskey and rum distillery here in Longmont, Colorado. Where are they located? At 350 Terry Street, here in Longmont. Whiskey, rum, but they also do a wonderful like Negroni. They do a beautiful old fashioned. At Abbott and Wallace over on Instagram. They do not only the canned cocktails, obviously it's a distillery, they do lots of drinks and whatever. So it's like cocktails, mocktails, they got food. They have a lot of outdoor seating. They do stand-up comedy nights, they do live music. It's a pretty family-friendly environment. The people that run it and own it our family guys, you know. My God, they have the cutest fucking children, these people. I'm not going to go off on a big tear about children. But I will make this note about children, fair and square. Most children, up until the age of maybe 1, a little later, they all look like Winston Churchill. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Not their children, of course, over at Abbott and Wallace. Their children look like beautiful angels or whatever. But most fucking babies look like Winston Churchill. It's not just me. 350 Terry Street. Oh, definitely go. Definitely stop in. I know you can get the cocktails, but like, definitely stop in for an actual drink. The Negroni. Oh. I don't know if you love the Negroni. If you're a fucking grown-ass person with good taste. But have one. Have one. Don't throw your life away. Another note about children. Fuck it. They do look like Winston Churchill. And I regret nothing. And I will now tell you a Winston Churchill anecdote. You're welcome.
Ooh.
Thank you. Once upon a time in World War II, and this is one of the best burns in World War II, among, gotta tell you, a few great public burns, okay? Winston Churchill's giving a speech, okay? It's like I think he's talking to the press, okay? In this story, he's talking to the press. Let's release the truthiness of it. And there's a lady there who fucking hates his guts, okay? Relatable. And she goes, Mr. Churchill. This is my English lady voice. Mr. Churchill, if I were your wife, I would put poison in your tea. And fucking Churchill says, Madam, if I were your husband, I would drink it. I think that's like, I've never heard such a good fuck you. You know what I mean? Is there any comedian in the world that could have responded to that heckle any better? Like, Madam, if I were your husband, I would drink it. Beautiful.
Perfect.
Little note about Winston Churchill. Why? Why did he tell that story? Fuck off about that why shit. Sometimes a man's just tired after doing a bunch of jokes 3 times or 4 times. Fuck yourself. Sometimes he wants to tell a Winston Churchill anecdote. Now, we're going to move on to the next segment of our show, which is an interview with Shiquita Yarbrough. She's running for city council for the at-large seat. There are 2 open. We talked to Aaron Rodriguez a few episodes ago. He is running for the same seat. There are 2 available, and those are 2 people that are running. We're going to talk to more people. There's a man named Tallis running for those same seats, and we're going to see him in a couple episodes. So stay tuned. It's going to be so exciting. And now, folks at home and on the internet, in public or in a bathroom, Shiquita Yarbrough. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on. So, as we found out from Marsha Martin last week, the current rules with the masks are you can be seated, if you're having a drink, you can be seated 6 feet away from somebody you'd like to talk to and be in the same room without a mask on. Magic. Just clarifying for anybody in the future who's like, oh my God, are they trying to kill everyone? No, we're really not.
Just ourselves.
Yeah, and that's our business. Chiquita, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Oh, see, our crowd loves you.
Love it.
Woo! So, running for city council, one of the at-large seats.
Yes.
Okay. First time running for public office?
Yes.
This is so fun.
Sure.
It's heavy work, and we respect that you want to do it. We respect that you want to help our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's as we've discovered talking to city council people, like it's sort of a fucking shitty job. Sometimes thankless, pays like shit, limited ability for like promotion.
Sounds like being a parent sometimes.
Parenting jokes. I don't think we've had one parenting joke on this show. I'm completely out of the loop on parenting. I was a child once, but only once.
Yes.
Only once, and I knocked it off.
Goodness.
Chiquita, what makes you want to run for public office?
The number one question, right?
Right.
Well, I never thought that I would actually run for public office. One office I considered was school board at one point in time, but no, I didn't move forward with it. So this time I was asked because I had been asking in the past, and I was like, there is no way. I am not a politician. No. But being out in the community, serving the community on several boards and committees, and co-founding a group called Families of Color, having my own radio show for single parents, workshop for single parents, first ever in Boulder County, probably in Colorado, just for single parents. There's a lot of work that needs to be done for people like me. Mm-hmm. Work 2 jobs, get off at, I'm not working 2 jobs now, but have pretty much quite often.
Yep.
And we all know how it's hard to find affordable housing here. It's gotten crazy. And who are listening to people like me? So I'm running to be impactful and representative of all of the community of Longmont.
That track record, I think, makes it seem like you're a very thoughtful, kind person. That's how you come off, for sure. Of course, we don't know each other really at all.
Right.
But you, like, I really respect that list of affiliations and accomplishments. You have a radio show for single parents?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, when I moved here from Austin, Texas, I'm originally from Chicago.
I'm from Lubbock, Texas myself.
Oh, really? Look at you. All right.
I escaped.
No, I actually love Austin, Texas. I moved to Austin because I had recently, at that time, had became divorced. And I have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys. And we just moved to Texas by myself, didn't know anybody, and started life all over again. Wow. But that is the time where I learned community, where people stepped in for me, filled in the gaps, and they noticed like I had 2 boys in football, but they were in 2 different age groups, and one in soccer, and so parents say, oh, my son is in this, and I'll pick yours up if you wish, and I'll do this and do that. I mean, I'm only one person. Yeah. And so it was really difficult. And so then when I moved to Colorado, I was thinking the same thing. Whereas here, I have neighbors looking like, like, you know, looking out pulling the shades and the curtains and not really coming out to greet and just to find out who I am. Maybe a few people, but nothing like Texas. And so, so for me, it was like, where are the resources? Yeah. Who are my champions? You know, my people who I can look at and look up to and who can help me out. Not saying I wanted somebody to do something for me, but just someone who could just say, oh girl, no, you can, this is where you go for this, where you go for that. Yeah. So then it made me realize that because there was nothing readily available, then instead of me complaining about it, what can I do about it? Yeah. And so I had the opportunity to get, to have a show on KGNU, and which now I am on the board. But my show ended right before 2020. So, but yeah, I would provide resources. I would have special guests to talk about nutrition, early childhood, taxes, how to prepare your taxes. A lot of people don't know, especially single parents who may not have had an accountant, and they would file single, you know, instead of head of household. And so they were missing out on money. You know, things like that.
Yes.
Right?
It's such a confusing system.
It is.
And they don't teach that shit in school for whatever reason.
Not at all. So who are providing these resources for single parents to be successful in our community? So that's what I did, and tried my best to do that. And then I have people who were saying, oh my goodness, my kid is the only one in the classroom that looks like them.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes the kids didn't want to go into the classroom. Heck, sometimes I didn't want to go to work because I was the only one that looked like me. I didn't want to go to a board meeting because I was the only one that looked like me at the table, right? Yeah. So I could only imagine a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or 10-year-old, right? Walking in the classroom and you always being stared at or whatever.
Feeling isolated in a place where they should feel at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I co-founded a group called Families of Color Colorado, where families can come together with their kids, and families, mixed family structures, adopted Black kids and white parents, and you know, where they would see each other. It's just so heartwarming. When the kids would see one another, they would just run and hug one another. And you know, that's where it should be at school too.
Yeah.
You know, but they say, now somebody looked like me. So we would have picnics and things like that here in Longmont, actually. And our first year we had, of course we didn't have a picnic last year, we didn't have one this year, but our first picnic we only had 40-something people. And by our third picnic we had, a second picnic, we had over 100 people.
Wow.
People from Thornton, I mean people from, there's something for BIPOC, oh my goodness, we need to come together, and it's all inclusive. Don't get me wrong, it was all inclusive, but it was just so that we can come together, and then parents would talk about the challenges and struggles that they were having in the schools with the administrators, with their kids. So where was that support? So I helped to we as a community helped us provide that support.
I appreciate that. What are they telling you? Are you the official Democrat nominee at this point? Because I think does the party pick anyone? Yeah, they don't pick in this election, do they? No. Yeah. I never can tell who they support or whatever. I guess it's so they're not supposed to say. But
yeah,
that's the part of the system I don't really understand. But we're always cautious. With the fucking corporate Democrat level people. No, we're just a little cautious. Shiquita, what is on the poster? What's your main couple issues? What makes you need to be the one to run? What is the motivating factor for you? Is it homelessness? Is it affordable housing? Is it, I don't know, more dog parks? I don't know, traffic. You know, people tell us traffic is one of the big problems, I guess. You know.
Well, it would be a big problem if people weren't the ones causing the traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we know it's an issue. No, of course, affordable, attainable housing, as I mentioned, and our youth. All the boards that I sit on, committees that I sit on, I'm very passionate as well. And of course, not to disregard homelessness. Of course, that's huge. Mental health, for sure. Our environment, education. I mean, we can go on and on, right? And it's unfortunate that we're still talking about these same issues that have been at the forefront of our government for a mighty long time. So for me, our youth is making sure that we support and lift up our youth and expose them to government. So one of the things that I hear quite often on boards and committees is who's going to take our spot.
Right.
Right. That and having diverse boards and committees. And it's not just people of color, but where's the youth? Right? Yeah. How many times, I don't know if you've seen boards or committees, how many people with disabilities are on there? Yeah. You know, LGBTQ. You know, so our boards and committees are not as diverse as they should be. if they plan on being representative of the community as a whole. In order for us to have diversity or have youth and who's going to take over these roles, we have to start integrating people on these boards, and we have to start paying people.
Yeah.
We have to start paying people. I know, oh, it's a public service. True, it is a public service. I'm a single mom, and I'm 3 boards, committees, and a second job. So what's your excuse? Why should I be doing it all?
Yeah.
Right? So it's not an equitable system, being on board to serve your community.
No, I agree. And like, I think people often make arguments about that kind of position not being a paid position, so that, I don't know, the look of impropriety, or like too much money in the system makes people crooked or whatever, you know. I think I largely agree. If a board needs to exist, probably ought to be valuable enough to pay the people to do it, you know. What do I know? That's definitely not an area of expertise for me. And by God, we're still sort of searching for my area of expertise. One thing that our local business owners are really, I get approached about this a lot because I'm talking to people in public. A lot of the business owners, especially on Main Street, they love that the little blocks have been set back, so there's extra seating that goes out into the street a little bit. And I think that kind of like happened over COVID, you know. I thought that was a pretty smart use of our space down there. Did you have any thoughts on that? I know like the people of La Vita Bella wish that it was like that all the time. I'm sure that most businesses would like it to be down to one lane basically on Main Street. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, to be honest, my own personal thoughts, I really don't like to travel on Main Street. I like to go around because I feel like the traffic is too heavy. And I get scared somebody's gonna run across and I may hit them, even if I'm, you know, I think the speed is too high just in that little strip. I actually have been walking up and down Main Street talking to business owners. I think it's kind of 50-50 about those who love that area. It's definitely beneficial for restaurant owners.
Definitely.
At the same time though, our retail businesses feel like that takes up some of the parking spots.
That makes sense.
That's right in front of their, you know, close to their establishment. So I can only go what the business owners have told me. So I think it's 50-50. I don't think that, you know, anyone is screaming and kicking about it.
No.
It's whatever works to keep a business open.
If you were in city council during the pandemic, is there anything that you would have tried to implement or do differently than city council did during the pandemic?
That's a really good question.
Great lady.
Considering I wasn't thinking about city council, being on city council at that time. You know, it's really hard for me to sit back and say what someone should have done in the past when it was something so unusual for this entire world, right?
Yeah. Nobody knew what they should be doing or whatever.
They
did a pretty good job.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I could come in and say, oh, they should have did this, A, B, C, D, and this would have been better. All of our businesses would have been able to stay open, and but we don't know that. We just don't know. We were dealing with people dying. We were dealing with businesses dying, and so considering the businesses that are up and running again, I think it's amazing, and I believe that they are definitely supporting the businesses that are there. And I don't know. The only thing I could say that any government should have done more of is educate the community. And a lot of times in order for that to happen, you have to go out into the community to educate the community.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. I like what you're saying about getting more youth involved in politics and in boards and whatnot. I think in general, people millennial age and younger, I seem to feel pretty disenfranchised from the whole system, and my feel is, and maybe we can ask Jackson, who's a strapping young man over here, who's you know, he's a little younger, but I feel like when they feel like there's a point and that there's a literal way that it helps them in their life, or a way that they can really affect their community, they show up. Like, boy, I really drew a lot of hope from the Black Lives Matter movement and sort of the age demographics that were pushing the energy behind that. It was a lot of younger people. And I think, like, what did you think about that? To me, it was very hopeful to see all these young people.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely, it was. You know, we just have to allow them to use their power, and their power is their voice, and support them. It doesn't mean that we're going to agree with everything that they do, you know?
Right, of course.
But they're out there doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what we want.
That's what we want. I don't want the people who just sit there and talk and complain. They're like, forget this. I'm going to get up and I'm going out there because this is just not right.
Yeah.
This is not equality.
I think it's like it was a really beautiful display of sort of kindness at scale, you know, kind of like, I don't know, a touchy subject for sure, but like standing up to a portion of our community that was abusing another portion of our community. A lot of the community stood up against that, you know?
Right, and then hopefully those communities that stood up against that, who did not live in those particular communities that they were standing up for, remember that when they went back home away from those communities, that, you know, I'm home, I'm not immersed in that. You know, so hopefully they kept that in the back of their mind, or no, in the forefront of their head, thinking, wow, I get to go home and sleep in my bed. I can walk down the street at midnight and not worry about a police officer stopping me. You know, hopefully that was, you know, constantly in their thought pattern, and understanding that there are some privileges in that. And maybe that was the driving force of going back out there protesting over and over again, but hopefully remembering that I can actually lead that situation. You know? That's
right. I so rarely see public, like, national level news stories that give me hope. There are pieces of that story that really made me go, you know what, man? Maybe, like, the kids are gonna be okay. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree.
They're like, if they're like, you know, if they can tell fucking Big Daddy to go fuck himself or whatever, and even though he's got like a badge or whatever, some, you know, person from the White House or whatever, that gives me hope that, like, because that's the kind of courage Americans need to stand up to the current system we live in. There's going to have to be a lot of active people to be able to sort of subvert this system.
Absolutely. I mean, to be those accomplices, you know, as well, like forever, because this is a forever journey. That's right. You know, it's not a one-time 2020 thing. That's you know, right. Make me feel good because, you know, I got pictures and put it on Twitter. You know, right. And Instagram.
Yeah, that was a little gross. We could fucking pull back on that a little bit. Okay. Like you know, we can pull back on the fucking selfie thing. Whatever. Thank you for showing up to the protest. I hate it when motherfuckers will like show up in front of like some broken window and like they're like yoga pants and get like some hot shot of their ass or whatever. It's like, you are standing in like basically a war zone right now. Go home. Thanks for coming. Sign the thing. Go home. Personal thoughts. They're my own thoughts. Disclaimer, disclaimer. You know, did we read the disclaimer in this episode? I bet we did. I bet we did. Always have a disclaimer. That's what they tell you when they start making little TV shows.
So should I do that before I speak on council as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because like on council you do speak for the community.
That's right.
And I'm always making it really clear that I don't necessarily speak for the community. The community doesn't actually say motherfucker this much. That's what it turns out to be. Chiquita, I really appreciate your time coming on. I really appreciate your heart. Any like final words for our people out here? We've got an election coming up, not this month.
November 2nd.
Not next month. November 2nd. We're actually doing a show the night before the election.
Oh,
We're gonna
wow.
try and do a live stream. We'll see. We'll see.
And who's gonna be here?
I think it might could just be me and fucking Jackson. You know, prank calling Tim Waters. How's it going, Tim? What's the numbers look like? We'll see.
Well, the main thing I want to say is, please vote.
Yes.
Please vote. That is the most important thing that I really want to say is please, of course, vote for me, but please vote. If you don't want me in office, that's totally fine, but use your rights to vote because so many people have died not having that right or to have it. So that's most important is especially with local races, it's harder to get people out to vote, you know.
But the numbers count, man.
The numbers literally count.
It's not like voting for president where question mark, how much your vote really counts. Yeah, I'm sure it counts fine, all right. But like local elections, a few hundred votes swings a
Makes a
lot.
difference.
A lot. So,
Absolutely.
and plus, like, it's fun to get to know the people that are trying to serve us in our community. It turns out they're all just kind of awesome, nice people. And like, I like this delightful character here, you know? But yeah, do go vote. You really can't lose. We don't have any fucking Nazis or anything running. You know, we would have found out by now. You know, if some random one of the council members was like, I don't know, fuck the Jews or whatever, we'd be like, hey, what the fuck? We would have found out about that shit. That's not happening right now in our city council or any of our candidates. So it's pretty safe to just go ahead and vote.
Just vote. Just vote. And come to city council meetings, especially when I'm on city council. I want to see you and I want to hear your voice.
Woo. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
So then we can put mask back on before I walk over to turn off the game. Because that's the rules.